So one of the things that I've always thought about when looking at the sort of second part, which is the middle part for season 1, or of course volume 2 of the light novel series, is was Narberal the best choice when it came to picking her as a co-companion for Irons going around as Momon, as an adventurer? Like, was she the best pick? Could have he picked someone else that was more suited for the job? And it's definitely debatable, but I think when you look at many factors, like how Irons notes that Albedo was definitely a choice that needed to not be made, especially after the instances beforehand where she kind of went a little bit berserk and almost killed people in the Khan village because, of course, individuals thinking that, a certain bottle was poison, and her over, responding to that. It definitely shows that Albedo was definitely probably not the best pick, but also you got to realize that she also had horns as well. So yeah, it was one of those where, sure, maybe if she never took her helmet off and she just kind of made it as like, oh, it's a cosmetic thing, maybe it could have worked. But at the same time, you only needed to turn your back on her for probably 30 seconds and she probably would have massacred an entire village. Why? Probably no reason other than she just kind of looked at them and they looked at her weirdly and she just went, no, that's it, I don't like humans. So Albedo probably was the least workable option. Could a Shao-Ti worked? I don't think Shao-Ti would have made a good adventurer companion. Probably, I don't know, would have been an awkward pick. At the same time, Shao-Ti was also doing other stuff as well, and Shao-Ti is very critical to the defense of Nazarick as well, but she was also on a job as well. Another person that was also doing another job was Sebas. Could have Sebas been another option? And if you remove the fact that Sebas is critical for other stuff as well and was on a job at the same time, remove all that, he could have been a really good option because he would have followed the orders, to the letter, but he would have looked more like a servant to Momon than an actual adventurer companion than anything. So it kind of would have looked a little bit more awkward, but at least Sebas would have followed orders correctly. So yeah, there's that. At the same time, there really isn't any other options. Like, you couldn't really take Demi, you couldn't really take some of the other Pleiadian maids. There wasn't many other options, unless maybe he decided to take a real curveball and take Pandora's actor. That could have worked, but at the same time, Pandora's actor was, again, in Nazarick, down in certain places, almost being treated like, that one child that you don't want, kind of shoved in a corner. But at the same time, Pandora's actor can be a little bit extreme as well. But at least Pandora's actor probably wouldn't go around massacring an entire village if they looked at him wrong. And he could take on many different appearances, so it could work quite well. But again, you've also got to realize the same reason they probably didn't take Sebas is it's a writer issue as well. It would have probably equaled a really, really boring story. And I think that is why Narberal, as much as she's definitely a difficult individual to bring, she was the best option from a storytelling point, but also for Irons' choice as well. At least she didn't do anything extreme. She was just difficult socially, but she also was really terrible at following her orders from a social aspect. Like, as far as combat goes, she did exactly as she was told, but whenever Irons is trying to say, think rationally, use your head, social skills, she lacked any of them. But at the same time, they're battle maids, not negotiators or counselors or anything that requires social skills. Like, their job is to battle. They're battle maids, it's in the name. So it's understandable that they don't possess the social skills that they need to, do something like being an adventurer, even though you could say, but they're maids. But, again, battle maids, they're kind of designed for a specific purpose. I mean, if you took one of the other maids, but then they were a much lower level, so it wasn't like you could take one of them. And to be honest, even if you took, like, one of the low-tier maids, just, again, same for the sake of argument's sake, it wouldn't have worked either way, because one, he would have been too paranoid, they're too weak. Two, I don't think they would have been very useful. They would have just been more like Sebas, too much of a servant, so it would have looked really awkward. So I feel like Narberal is just the best option, or Nabby, however you want to say it. She was just the best option for comedic and storytelling component, but also the best option out of them all, which kind of says a lot, because honestly, they all generally hate humans except a couple of them. There are a couple that don't. And Sebas would have been the best pick from that standpoint, but yeah, running into a lot of the other internal issues. So I think it's an interesting point. I'd love to know your thoughts in the comment section down below. What do you think of Narberal? What do you think of her as a character, especially in those positions as an adventurer? I definitely think some of her remarks to certain individuals, calling them cockroaches and all kinds of lovely names, is definitely kind of, sometimes music to my ears. But hey, some people don't like that, so I'd love to know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Of course, if you like this video, hit the like button, subscribe for more anime content, and I'll see you, beautiful nerds, in the next video.